Hi there, welcome to a special edition of the Morton Matchday Programme. With so much going on both off and on the pitch, I took the opportunity this week to get the appraisal of the season so far, as well as looking ahead with Club Chairman John Laird. John, thanks for joining me today in sumptuous surroundings.
Yep.
Somehow we've managed to stage manage getting the Waverley coming down the river at the back of us as well.
Yeah, nice.
It's
lovely.
quite magnificent. Listen, how would you reflect on the season so far and what are your hopes for the upcoming period of matches?
Obviously, we're 3 games in now, getting into our 4th game. I've heard the Billy Davis and Eamon Brophy do their interviews recently, and I hate draws, Gerry. Draws are no good at all. We've had a conversation with Dougie at the beginning of the season to try and convert some of those draws into wins. We've had a discussion with Grant Gillespie, obviously club captain, again to convert some of the draws into wins. Mm-hmm. Obviously it helps the players' bonuses if they get wins and such like, and also pushes us up further up the table. So I would say the start of the season is, I would say, behind schedule. If we're going to get 4th place, Gerry, we have to win at home.
Yeah.
We have to convert those draws into wins. It's great to be undefeated, but 40 draws, Gerry, gets you relegated.
Sure.
So I think Dalrada have incentivised the club, and that incentivisation is in where we finish in the league as well. So I think at the moment, the management, the players, the directors, the staff, all want to see draws converted into wins, Gerry. So I think it's a good report card, but can do better, for want of a better word.
The Morton support, crucial as always. How do you see their role, and what do you think they can do to make Capital a wee bit more hospitable for people to come into?
I think the fans play an enormous part in that. There's a great core of fans, especially the lads in the cowshed have a great atmosphere home and away, and I know the players and especially the management, and recently obviously you can see the support for the management and Dougie in particular and his family, but the crowd on Saturday was like 1,800 or whatever. I would have liked to have seen a bit more there, and I think the Ray family throughout the years have actually stipulated what they thought an average crowd to break even financially is for the club. So I think we do need more fans through the door, but it's the club's responsibility, the team's responsibility to make sure that we perform and give them a product to come and watch. And that takes me back to the first point there about are we going to challenge for 4th position?
Yeah.
If we're really going to challenge for 4th position and we show a bit of incentive, inventiveness off the park, then the investment from Dalrada, for example, the investment from MCT, and the investment from the board of directors, Sam Robinson has got a target now to raise more commercial income, and we have to achieve that, Gerry. And I think all of those things together are really important in driving the club up. But the fans will come if we give them something to come and watch.
Yeah. I mean, we have that in hospitality. Obviously, in a home match, it's very, very important that we entertain people through the door. We've got the executive lounge as well. These are all areas that we want to cover and bring supporters into the club. Yeah.
The hospitality, anytime I go into the hospitality every home game, and everybody seems to have a fantastic time in hospitality. Obviously some of the early games maybe suffer a wee bit attendance wise, but I think again, Gerry, it comes back to the previous question that if the team's playing well, everybody will want a space in hospitality. But I think that there's a lot of regulars coming to hospitality, so I would like to see some newcomers coming and trying the hospitality out and experiencing what it's like at Matchday and at Capital. Pardon me. And I think that the importance of hospitality as a revenue generating income stream for us is a requirement. It does bring a lot of net profit to the club, and the packages that are available, and obviously the guests we get in hospitality. I know you work hard personally on bringing people to the hospitality on a Saturday, and it is really important. Everybody has a day out in it, but it's also a good revenue generating income stream for the club.
Maybe it's something we should look at more as a corporate venture rather than just individuals coming to hospitality.
I think that there's not many packages that are sold for the season, Gerry, and there's a lot of people come regularly, but we don't have those discussions with them about, well, I come 6 times a year. Can we do something with them to book those 6 times a year up front? We're going at it like fortnight to fortnight. So I think on the corporate side, as I said, Sam is going to look at the corporate side and see where we can engage with the corporate people within Inverclyde and even further afield, Gerry, to actually engage with the club through sponsorship, through hospitality, in the executive lounge, for example. and increase the revenue streams all over.
Yeah. As we sit here just now, I think we're just currently under 1,000 season ticket sales at the moment. What would you say to anyone who's considering buying a season ticket for Morton?
I think, yeah, you're right. We're just under. I think we're behind where we were last year at this present time. But obviously there were issues round about May and June time where the budgets for the club were not agreed quickly enough for my liking. MCT were changing their structure. They were changing. They were looking for a new board of directors to come in. There was a new deal on the table from Dalrada. I think all of that, Gerry, and the instability at that time for the manager and the players, Dougie not having a budget until the beginning, the first week in June, it probably affected season ticket sales. So on that basis, I'd like to see them increase now. There is stability at the club. There is a bigger budget at the club. Dougie has money to spend. We have investment for players there. Hopefully to enhance the squad, Gerry, not just to keep it the same as, but to enhance it and make that push for fourth place.
How do you balance the ambitions on the pitch with the financial responsibility of it?
Well, I think obviously we have a main sponsor in Dalrada who give us an enormous financial backing, and this is the biggest investment that Dalrada have made. I know quite publicly there that everybody saw what the initial upfront investment was, but that investment has been increased by just short of £250,000, Gerry, now, and that's been added to the budget. When Billy Davis came in, there was a discussion with Dougie and the rest of the management team as to what is required, what is the ambition of the club. I think I said previously in one of your interviews that I did go back to that well again and speak to Brian, which was just based along the same similar lines. He would give more money to the club. Yeah. So that does give the investment, Gerry. That the offset of that, what we get from that, obviously, is hopefully enhance the product on the pitch. Hopefully that will sell you more season tickets, and hopefully it matches the ambition. The ambition, we don't budget for fourth, Gerry, but the target this year for myself, Dalrada, Dougie Imrie and Billy Davis is fourth position. And the players need to understand that we can have a steady state, Gerry. Yeah. And we do for the last 3 seasons. They've been sort of 5th, 6th position, round about that area there. But we need to go that wee bit further now. And there are consequences of bringing finance into the club. People do want to see improvement, and it's not just fund steady state. It's not just to pay the electricity bill. We do need to improve on the pitch. We do need to get challenging for fourth place, and all of that will then look after itself after that.
The Dalrada partnership is an active partnership. I mean, you were out before. I believe you're going out again, aren't you? Quite shortly.
Yeah, been out twice. Obviously, the last trip was very important. We had to secure funding for the club to continue at the level we are. And again, I'm banging on about fourth position again, but that funding that Dalrada give us, I'm going back out again. I'll leave here, I think, the 29th of September. I'm just waiting for Brian to confirm the date of when he's going to be available to see me, but he is available over that 2 or 3 days that I'm going to be in that area. So I will sit down with him, give him an update as you're doing now as to where we are, how's it looking, are we on schedule for Christmas time. Brian has promised if we're in fourth position come Christmas, there'll be additional funding for the manager to push on and try and secure that fourth place for us, because we've never been in that position, Gerry, at Christmas time. We've never been there that we can actually say to Dougie, there's a substantial investment that allows us to go and strengthen the squad in January, for example. So hopefully this year we are, but Brian, as part of his incentivised agreement, will want to know where we are with MCT, how much money has been brought in additional, because as you're aware that Brian has gave the target and the KPI to, if we raise an extra £1, he will match that £1 up to £100,000. So if MCT raise £100,000 extra over and above what they're doing now, Brian will make that £200,000, and that's over and above what it will give us in January. So that's a fantastic incentive financially for everybody at the club to try and make inroads into where do we go in the future. Yeah.
I think you maybe answered this, but the importance of MCT at the heart of Morton, what does that mean to you?
look, yeah, we are a community club, and MCT do play a substantial role in the community, and the community should know what's going on at the football club and give it stability. Yeah. And the money that MCT bring, not the money, start with the money that MCT bring into the club is paramount to assisting us. It forms a percentage of the total income stream for the club, and that income stream is needed. So without that income stream, yeah, it would affect the budget, Gerry. But more than that, I think we need stability within MCT, within the new boards in now. We'll be meeting them hopefully in the forthcoming weeks. Sit down and we've had a good relationship with the interim board that was there. The working relationships with them were good. The meetings were good. They were productive, and that was a good improvement and a good intention to see of how we can work together. The importance of Morton in the community, with working with MCT to get the word out there on the street is important, because if we don't have that positive narrative, Gerry, people won't know what's going on. And the board sometimes is a wee bit, the boardroom, Gerry, is sometimes a wee bit of mystique what happens in there. Yeah, that discusses how we take the club forward, but the MCT group who are out there on the streets, they're in the pubs on a Friday night, they're local people, they're fans at heart. And now that when they cross over, they'll see a wee bit of the business strategy coming in there. So it's paramount to the club that it's a productive relationship, and it's paramount to the area.
Can you tell us anything about the agenda for the infrastructure of the club? What's next?
Well, apart from the Dalrada one, which is the major one, the major two actually, and the money that MCT bring in, that's where we're KPI, Gerry. Brian has put strong stipulations to me in the meeting that he does not want to be seen as somebody who we go back to the well to all the time, and I've been back recently a few times. So Sam has got a massive target now that he has to go and bring in additional high six-figure numbers here, where that we have to go and invest that in the club so that Brian can see that there are other major investors prepared to come into the club. So therefore we have to package that correctly, present that correctly, and what we're giving people. But I think ultimately the package on the pitch is really important, and that allows us to sell the package off the pitch. So if we can do that, it's a massive task, but we have to drive it from the board down now. And Sam understands the importance of that role. And now, only last week did they present to myself a way forward of who we're going to go and see, what we're going to ask them, what does the client get for that? How do we integrate a major sponsor into the club? Because really and truly, Brian Boner, for example, in Dalrada, doesn't ask for that much. But we do need to give a major sponsor something back in terms of exposure, happiness, enjoy the day at Capello. He needs to get something back. And even get the feeling of what's it like being in hospitality, and bring more corporate people in there, Gerry. You touched on it earlier here today, and give the whole experience an uplift.
This programme is brought to you by Coast Bar and Restaurant. Enjoy the luxurious yet relaxed waterside atmosphere at our Langbank restaurant.
The big thing, of course, is the product on the pitch. Dougie, very, very big on a mixture of youth and experience, which is really what the balance that he has this season as well.
Dougie, right at the beginning, obviously, had the discussion with the core group of players that he's used to working with, and that was good to see those guys signing up quite quickly. And agreeing to sign up before the actual budget was agreed. So that shows you the commitment of the guys that have been here a while, that the Grant Gillespie's, the Cammy Blues, the guys that have been here and know the club and know a wee bit about the structure of the club. And bringing in the younger guys, our average age is reduced substantially now, Gerry, and we're looking to drive that average age of the club, the players, down to the low 20s. And I think that's where Morton Football Club, especially Morton in the community with the academy, the whole structure has to be. I know experience is good and it's necessary, but we have to get that blend right. And it's good to have the guys that have been here for a while who know the club and can instil the values that we want to see there. But we all need to uplift that now, Gerry. As I said to you post the Aberdeen game, I thought to myself, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And I think we had that discussion with Billy the following week. And Dougie in particular, Dougie was in that day, and we spoke to him, and I told him the thought process I had that weekend. I was really disappointed with everything concerning that day. Attitude, desire, will to win, and to get fourth, Gerry. If you get fourth place, Gerry, it's a toss of the coin if you go up. We're not in control of it after that.
No.
We challenged to get into fourth. We can give it all that. We get into fourth, and then next thing, 3 weeks later, you're promoted.
Yeah.
And we're not in control of that situation, so we need to be ready to get promoted. And that means we need to structure financial, the infrastructure, improve the facilities, improve the match day experience. The stewarding, if we brought in a new stewarding company this year, cost us more money, but they give us a better service. Sharon has done a great job on that side. The match day delegates that turn up at the game are very complimentary of how we run it, and Sharon runs a tight ship. It can be quite severe sometimes.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
But we have to make sure that match day, from that side of point of view, is on point, and the police are over the moon of the way we've went this season in terms of better standards, and it's one of the upgrades we have to do to make sure we move forward. But the improvement of the whole organisation, Gerry, hopefully will give us a better outcome. And I think it starts with the core guys, the new guys coming in. And I can touch on that, Gerry. When Club Rouge came this week, I sat with them and had a really good discussion, which has now led to other discussions happening, and which has now led to discussions this week. And my main question to them is that your first team? And they went, yeah, it is.
Very young.
I said, so you're going to Ibrox for that team tonight to play in the Champions League? And they went, yeah, why, what's your problem? I said, what's the average age of that team? Because they all looked young. And they said to me, the average age is 21.7. I said, right, okay. He said, we will be reducing that this year to 20.5. I said, right, okay. And he then went round the pitch and went, that's for striker. 19, that's for midfielder. 18, that's for such and such. 6, that's for centre half. 19. And we in Scotland sometimes think, whoa, that's taking a big chance. If Club Bruges, who obviously have spent tens of millions of pounds, Gerry, this close season, we're not in that league by any shape or form, but we also don't play in the Champions League. We're playing in the Scottish Championship. And I think that Morton Football Club have to make more use of the academy. We have to make sure the academy players are good enough to come through and get that average age down. I think our average age at the moment is 27. Last year it was higher, it was 29. And we need to try and get a target to bring that average age down, Gerry, to under 23 years of age. And that's a stress point for Dougie and Billy Davis, because they then have to find those players and they have to be good enough to play in Dougie's team. Because we have to have a more energetic, younger outlook and use the academy. And if the academy is not going to produce, then the question is, why do you have it? We have to make sure the academy is good enough. And I believe now we're 17s this year are first class. So, and we've got 3 in at the moment, training with the first team. So let's see how Gary Miller, the new person in place at the head of youth position, and emerging talent. Gary, Joe McGee, we brought Michael O'Harlan in now with under 17s as well. Let's see how that develops, and hopefully we can integrate that and give Dougie some pathway for players.
Yeah, I mean, how do we attract young boys and young girls into the academy through Morton?
I think Dougie spent about 3 hours with his team a couple of weeks ago, showing me, because I did question that what we're doing to get players in, how do we get recruitment, how we identifying players, and how do we identify players for the first team. So if I'm going to sit in November with Dougie and say, what's the target for January, I wanted to know, how do we do that, how do we get there, what have we been doing, because in the past it's probably not been good enough. And Dougie is saying that he wants to be better all the time, so I'm now starting to challenge and say, well, how do we get there? Again, it's okay. Listen, in business, Gerry, everybody can talk, but there comes a time you've got to produce. And Dougie's desperate to produce. We've brought Billy Davis in to assist that process. We've brought other coaches into the first team now to assist that process. Coaches who want to improve, coaches who want to bring the right attitude to the club, coaches who want to get us to fourth position and bring the habits and the integrity into the club that does that, and open your mind to other suggestions. Old school is great, but old school doesn't always get you, Gerry, moving forward. And I want to see the club moving forward. I don't want to be safe any longer. I want the club to go for the win again, back to change that draw into a win. And our job, and let me make this clear here, our job is to give Dougie Imrie the best tools we can give him within our budget constraints to enhance that process. But it shouldn't just all be about money. It should be about working with the players, working with the academy, working with the Morton in the community, working with the ladies team, and everybody should be joined up. And I think that will then go to sponsors. And when you're saying, how do we get people into the club, if the product's right and we can tell them what the product involves, then it makes our job easier.
You touched on the women's team there.
Yeah.
The growth of women's football in the last 20 years has been absolutely off the scale.
Yeah.
How do you see our team shaping up for the season?
Gerry, I've watched the ladies a lot of times, and I've watched them recently this season. Last season I probably watched them about maybe 8 or 9 times, home and away. I watched them recently away, and the performance was very, very good. But I think there's a massive gulf, Gerry. Women's football has come on leaps and bounds, but there's a massive gulf between the top level of women's football and our level. And I want to see a wee bit like what I've spoke about the men's team here. I want to see the women at Green Morton Football Club looking to make not small margin gains, big gains.
Yeah.
And I think we're making several changes that Gary's trying to implement. We've brought the ladies back into the club now. They've got access to Clyde Injury Clinic, for example, which costs the club a lot of money because there's a lot of injuries and a lot of rehab to be done with a lot of the women's team here now. And by bringing them into the club, Gerry, it makes them feel part of the club. But there is payback for that. We do expect improvement, and a wee bit like looking for 4th place with the men's team, looking for substantial improvement in the academy and bringing players through to integrate them with the first team. We are putting pressure on Gary now. And we had a conversation, myself and Sam, with Gary in the boardroom last week when Gary was looking for additional infrastructure improvements. Sure. And I said, we'll give you them, but what do I get back? What are we getting back from it? Are we getting fitness levels up? Are we getting better players brought in? How are we bringing the players in? We brought a young striker in from Glasgow City there.
He's doing really well.
Yeah. The girl can score goals.
Yeah.
She's a striker, right?
Yeah.
She strikes a great ball. She smashed one the other day in for 30 yards, right in the top corner. And Rachel's out at the moment. The other striker, Rachel, didn't play in the game I seen. And when I say I've watched the ladies there 9 times, with the new young striker and Rachel coming in there, I don't want to be playing against them two, and it's up to the rest of the team now to step up to the mark. And what I do like about the ladies, when they go 3 and 4 up, they're looking for, where's the 5th one? Where's the 6th? Yeah, exactly. And the striker wants more goals, unhappy when the ball's not put through to you, screaming at the defenders, at the midfield players. And we've got a couple of good girls in midfield that can play football. If their fitness was slightly better, our league position would jump. No. So that's what we're saying to Gary. So I'm getting effervescent now about the women's team there, because I do see that they are trying really hard. And I just think if we improve 1 or 2 elements of that women's team, they can improve their league position. I went to the presentation of prizes, Gerry, last year that you chaired, and I think Laura spoke. And I'll say this, I was really impressed with the girls speaking on the stage. And then we sent Cammy Ballantyne up, and we ended up in a song.
Well, Cammy likes a tune.
Yeah,
likes a tune.
I'm joking. So the fact of the matter is, I thought the girls spoke well on the night, but they made a statement and said, we've got 3 games left of the season, we've already passed our points total. Yeah, but we need to improve the position in the league. We need to get up there and start challenging, because we're a professional football club. We play teams that are not professional football clubs, and we need to now start saying we can deal with those people, push them aside, and have a vision to get further up that league table.
So finally then, what's your message to the Morton support looking ahead to the rest of the season?
I think I've probably said most of it, and the answer's here, Gerry. That epiphany I had the other week, questioning, and I questioned the board as well, what are you guys doing here? Question myself, what am I doing here? And I know that we say we're just caretakers to hand the club to somebody else. I'm not singing off that sheet any longer. I've been in and around the club now actively for the last 18 months. I've been here 40 years in and out. I need to see improvement, Gerry, all over the club, and I would like to say that to the supporters. I am deadly serious about trying to do better. And listen, look, I listened to Russell Martin, the Rangers manager, the other night there, saying that change gives pain, and it's how long can you take the pain. Maybe we don't take enough pain, Gerry. Maybe we're a comfortable community club. I would like to be a community club that's got ambition, and that's ambition to go further up. We need to be challenging for 4th. Otherwise, why? Why are we here? We'll end up a junior team. And I want to say to the supporters that we need to push on. The board need to raise the standards. We need to bring in more commercial sponsorship. we need the fans and more numbers to come through the door. If we get another 200 or 300 fans come through the door, Gerry, what a difference that would make to us. People keep saying we need to bring in better quality players. How does that happen? Because the majority of the better quality players sits down and wants a bigger wage than we normally pay. So we have to improve that wage structure, but we'll have to bring money in and improve that wage structure because we can't go into debt. The football budget came in at 0.05% accuracy last year, so we're managing the budget well in terms of what do we spend. You're right, the infrastructure costs have all went up, so that's massively. The national insurance went up massively, so we have a cost base that has increased, but the revenue, Gerry, has not increased. The sponsorship from Brian Bonner has increased, but it's a condition that Brian Bonner's money goes in the first team squad. Right. It's not going to pay cutting the grass, it's not going to pay the electricity bill. So my message to the fans is, let us worry about the infrastructure cost. We'll try and do our best we can to improve the match day experience. The whole hospitality, Gerry, I don't know if you're aware of this, but it's all getting refurbished.
Yep. At last.
Yeah, it's all getting refurbished. We're stuck with the shape of the room, but the whole place will be given a facelift. As you know, the executive lounge has been changed recently. There's an improvement in there. We just need to get more members into the executive lounge, improve that experience. But predominantly on the playing staff, we have to improve the product on the pitch, and that's the only way we'll get fourth. And that's a driver for me, Gerry. I am adamant that those standards will lift, and that then, as I say, it leads from the top, and that pressure's on the board now. We need new board members in certain positions. We need new finance in, new corporate partners in. We need to challenge for fourth place, and there's going to be pressure on the management team to get it. And Dougie Imrie will welcome that. Look, Dougie Imrie's a winner. He wants to win, and I've got to know Dougie quite well over the period, and we have our discussions, and I think we understand each other. I've got a good relationship with him. Billy's added to that profile now. Billy's experience of how winners actually do it. Dougie wants to get there. Yeah. Billy's been there. Hopefully that combination and our assistance takes us to that different level. So the words to the fans are, let's go for it. Let's try and get fourth. Let the supporters play their part, get behind us, and we will try our best, Gerry, off the pitch to try and get that support for Dougie Imrie, to get the team the tools that they need to actually help them get fourth. And if the players can play their part and become winners themselves, convert the draws into wins, then hopefully we can close the circle.
Brilliant, John. Listen, thanks for your honesty and thanks for your time today as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Cheers.
Good to hear from the chairman there. Also, a big thanks to Lisa and all the staff at Coast and Langbank who made us all very welcome. And naturally, a big thank you to you for tuning in, as always.